or delegations wishing to address the commissioners? Anyone wish to come up and address us about an issue? Nobody? Okay. We'll make item number 6. Lumber River Council of Government, Mr. Adrian Malley. He's going to give us an update on regarding single-family rehabilitation loan pool program. He went over the other week. Updates.
Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners, thank you for allowing me to appear before you this evening. The purpose of my visit is, as you said, is to update the board on the Bladen County FY 2015 Single Family Rehabilitation Program. In the packet that I'm passing out, you will see 3 items. The first item will be the assistance policy, and that's pretty much the nuts and bolts of the program, all the basic questions. If a citizen calls you with a question, you should be able to answer pretty much about 90% of the questions from that information. The second page will be the income verification, and if you look where it says 80%, it's broken down by how many people are in the home, 1 person, 2 person, but that amount, it's at 80%. An individual that makes over that amount would be over 80% and would not be eligible to apply based upon income. And that's a question we get a lot of times from citizens is you know, what is the income limit? And then the final page is just an example of the housing application that goes out to them and the information that we ask for, just to give you an idea of what information is needed in order for an individual or citizen to apply for this program. Since we do have some new board members that might not be familiar with this program, since the last time that we had it for Bladen County, which is 2012, I've just got a little PowerPoint here just to give you some basic information. And at any time, commissioners, if you have a question, or Mr. Chairman, please just let me know. Of course, Bladen County is going to receive $170,000 as a part of this program. That is the amount that all entities can apply for as a maximum. Typically, that allows the different counties around the state to rehab or to provide energy assistance to approximately 3 homes. One of the main objectives of the SFR program, as you can see here, is to serve elderly and disabled homeowners or a home with a lead hazard for a child that's under the age of 6. And also you have to be below 80% of the median income. Eligible use of the funds, the program, in this particular program, the funds can be used for rehabilitation, but it's not really so much a rehab program as it is an energy program. A lot of the activities that we undertake, everything has to be Energy Star related. As far as the installation, we have to have a vapor barrier down in the crawl space. So everything that we do for this program is energy related. So when we finish a house, you might not go to a house and the citizen might not say, well, it's painted pretty and they put everything up nice. But what you will hear them say is, when I get my electric bill at the end of the month, I'm paying a reduced rate of what I used to pay. And then now I can take that money and do the things that I want to do. There is a maximum of each unit that we can spend up to $45,000 for hard costs. Hard costs are those costs that are the hammer and nail. Anything that goes to the actual physical part of that home. The minimum amount that we can spend on a unit is $5,000. That's placed in there in case we don't spend the maximum. We have some extra funding available. We can find a unit that we spend that might not be as severe as other units. So that is the minimum amount that a home needs in order to be eligible. Procurement, as far as procurement for this program, contractors are solicited through the Bladen Journal. We have an advertisement that will be going out in the next couple of weeks. And so any contractor that has a contractor license with the state of North Carolina will have the ability to seek information in order to apply for this program. So any contractor living within Bladen County that wants to bid will be allowed to do so. Loan deed of trust. This program does require that any recipients sign a deed of trust. The deed of trust is a zero interest deferred forgivable loan, and it's forgiven at a rate of $3,000 per year until that goes to zero. So a citizen, if we go in and we spend $40,000 on our home, then it's forgiven. Each anniversary date, $3,000 drops off. The only way they go into default is if the home is sold or if that is no longer their primary residence. At that point in time, they go in default of the loan, which simply means that they would have to pay back the amount of the loan that has not been forgiven. A lot of times with the Housing Finance Agency, if that home is then turned over to a family member who still meets the income requirements, the Housing Finance Agency will waive that requirement and then move that deed of trust into the new homeowner. That's if it stays in the family. Here's some key dates for this program. The advertisement for this program and for contractors will be in the Bladen Journal on January the 29th. It'll give them some information as to where to contact to get additional information. The deadline to apply for the citizens of Bladen County will be March 4th of this year. The final units will be selected by March 31st. All work has to be under contract by December 21st of 2017, and all units must be completed and the program must be closed out by June 30 of 2018. Now, who is eligible to apply? Citizens of Bladen County are eligible to apply that are considered to be owner occupants, which means they own the unit and they are living in the unit. And that's necessary for that deed of trust to go against that property. Again, if the household contains a child 6 or under and there's lead hazards, the state the minimum amount, then that house can also be considered. Again, they cannot be over 80% of the area median income. And again, the housing unit cannot exceed the mandatory maximum of $45,000. This here probably will be the most important part of this program, because in the CDBG program, which is no longer exists, a lot of commissioners will remember, we could find severely dilapidated units, we could demolish them, and we could put individuals in something new. This particular program is a rehab energy program. It will not allow us to do that. So the homes that we are looking for are homes that are considered to be moderately deteriorated. And that's important because when I first come in contact with this program, one of the first homes that was selected, when I looked at the home, I was like, that home does not need any assistance. But again, it's an energy program. So a lot of times we'll end up with a stick-built home, a brick home or so, that is built anywhere from 1970 to 1982, that the house is in fairly good shape, it's got a good structure, and by doing those energy measures, we can make it energy efficient and also make it viable for another generation. So probably we have about 600 or 700 individuals from Bladen County who have applied for assistance through housing over the years. Actually, if we count everybody that's applied, it's probably close to 1,000. I would be willing to wager, from what I've seen, that probably 90 to 95% of those individuals, their houses would not be eligible for this program because they're in too severe of a condition. So that's something that always comes up in this program in all 5 of our counties. And here are the income limits I wanted you to be able to see. As you see, the percentage for an individual living by themselves, they could not make more than $28,500. And that's considered to be low income based upon HUD standards for this particular program, the home program. 50%, I just gave you those additional percentages, but again, the percentage that we look at is that 80%, which is highlighted in yellow. And just to give you an example of one of our units, Miss Betty Grimes, who lives at 2053 Chickenfoot Road here in Bladen County, she was one of our past recipients of our program. And you can see the type of house that we're able to do. This is the house after it was completed. We were able to go in and do energy windows. Again, the insulation, anything that involves energy we can do. She was one of the recipients, and we did a little story on her, and that was sent into the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency, and they will send that story out to elected officials on the state level when they solicit additional funds for this particular program. That's pretty much a good generalization of everything that we do for this particular program. So if there's any questions you've got, Mr. Chairman or Commissioners, I'll be gladly to try and answer.
Mr. Lowry, the income that you referred to, is that earned and unearned, or one or the other, or about combination?
That's any money that's coming into that unit. And they consider child support to be a part of that. Also for Social Security, it's important too, because they consider the deductions that come out from Medicare B, they consider that to be income also. So one of the things we do with individuals is we have them verify that income, and when they bring it in, we have to see that. You used to take a bank statement and just take the money that would hit their bank. Now we have to see the deductions from Medicare because HUD considers that through the Housing Finance Agency to be income. So we do have to see every dollar that comes into that home.
Okay, concerning the deed of trust, if the owner of the home passes, what impact does that have on the program?
Okay, that's an excellent question. Typically what happens is, as long as the family, if the property stays within the family, and the family puts someone in a home that meets these income standards, nothing will occur on the state level. The state will just transfer whatever information needs to go over to that particular person as long as they come into ownership of the program. So the state, the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency will do everything in their power as long as that property stays within that family to not default on that loan.
Thanks, sir.
Ms. Conrad?
You were saying that type of home that qualifies. So if a citizen come to me and asks about it, I don't need to tell them not to fill out an application. I need to tell them to fill one out and let you guys qualify.
Absolutely. At the very minimum, that allows us to keep that database of individuals. And the hope is that if that CDBG program ever comes around again, and even if it's competitive, when we put an application, we can say, hey, since this date, we've received 1,500 applications from the citizens of Bladen County. When those applications come in, we will look at various means to see if they meet the eligibility. One of the first things we do is put the tax card, and that'll help us. And also, one thing I should have noted, mobile homes are not eligible for this program, and that is a decision that was made by the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency.
So mobile homes are not eligible?
No, ma'am.
What about modular homes?
Modular homes are eligible.
So, Adrian, do y'all furnish the legal service, or do we do it as?
Actually, it's provided by the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency. One of the few things that we get from the state at no cost.
On page 9, a lot of these dates are changed. How about, you want to let me?
Yeah. The key dates, and I should have given that information, I don't have one of those in forms, but the key dates are the dates that are at the very back. We originally put this together quickly for the state. They wanted in, but when we started looking at income, they require us to verify. When we go to do a home, they require us to verify that income within 6 months. And we were so close to the end of the year that we decided to just go ahead and allow 2015 to come to a completion. That way we could get the most recent income and not require that homeowner to have to provide that information twice. So the dates that are the actual dates are the dates that are on the final sheet. I'm not sure. I don't have that in front of me. It might be the second last page. On page 9.
I'm on page 9, but those dates,
The 31st is gone.
all the dates,
The only one don't 31st.
you were talking, and I can't write fast, I can't keep up with you, but what is the application deadline date? I mean, could you tell me the correct date?
Yes, ma'am. And if their dates are on there, I apologize for that being incorrect. I thought we had shored all this up.
Yeah, December 31st, 2015.
You got those dates wrong.
Okay, the correct dates are here. The deadline date for applicants to apply will be March the 4th.
Okay, March the 4th is the application deadline date.
That's for the citizens to apply, for that to be into our office or in here at the manager's office.
March 4th.
Brady, can you just email that to Greg and Greg will get it to us?
Absolutely.
That way we do in writing and all.
Anybody else want to get this line?
He said he was coming back to the nothing on the board.
Anybody else wishes to ask questions? Steve?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Thank you very much. Number 7 on our agenda is Dr. William Kent, President of the Bladen Community College. He's going to talk with us about consider adopting the resolution in support of the Connect North Carolina Bond Act.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. Mr. Dennis Troy, who's our board chair, is with us this evening, and Philip Pope's going to make sure we get through this little short presentation in good order. And Jeff Carnegie here, Vice President of the College, is going to pass it out so you can see it. we appreciate your support and hope you will approve a resolution for the bond. And let me tell you a little bit about why we need it as we go forward. It is called Connect NC Bond. The next slide, I believe, shows you our mission statement at the college. And let me go through that a little bit. Mission statement's done every 2 years, approved by our Board of Trustees, so they recently approved this in August of 2015. When you look at the second sentence, we are committed to quality teaching through distance and on-site learning. We have environments both in distance and on-site. We have college transfer programs, but most importantly, our work development program and training to help people in their work so that they can have life skills for them for the rest of their lives. So that's our mission statement. In March of this year, March 15th, in the primary here in North Carolina, the citizens will have the opportunity not only to vote for their preference for president and some local races, but act on a $2 billion bond that the legislature approved late in the session this past spring. And the next slide, if you look at that, or the next page, shows where that $2 billion is going. The community college system, 58 community colleges get $350 million. University system gets almost $1 billion. But much of it is spread throughout the state, as you can see that. We'll talk about the state parks in a minute. The 2 state parks in this county get over $1 million collectively. Agriculture, there's an $85 million building going at North Carolina State University as part of that $179 million, and it will serve all the co-op extension offices in the 100 counties. The National Guard armories, the several in the state, are getting upfitted, and of course you understand the need for that as well. I want you to see how much Bladen Community College, when this was proposed, and it was introduced by the governor early in the session, and debated through the session, and finally passed an agreement by both House and Senate. We weren't sure how it would be allocated, but it did come down, as you can see, based on need for the area. And so Bladen Community College gets $6.53 million, and we can use that for new construction and renovation. But I wanted you to compare it to some of those colleges around us. Brunswick Community College, our neighbor to the south, that has passed a bond recently, and doesn't have the needs that we have in Bladen County, only gets $2.8 million of the $350 million. Fayetteville Tech, the 4th largest school in our system, gets $10.6 million, so they get some more, but not that much more. And again, it's based on the need that the trustees have shown and what we have at the college. So we're real pleased with that. I mean, I thought it was a windfall. I couldn't believe we got that much. Our trustees in 2010 approved a plan going forward, which you've seen every year, a request for a $6 million building, a STEM building, workforce development building, of 20,000 square feet. We have the mock drawings for it, template for it, and that will bring us some program space that we don't currently have. So when it came to $6.5 million, we realized, well, we've already got the impetus to at least try to build that today. We can use some for renovation, and you know we have a long list of renovation needs. Lighting on our campus, restrooms are not handicap accessible, and some upfitted classrooms. So we can use some of that 6.5 for that. The state parks, Jones Lake, it gets a good bit of money, $6.5 million, and Singletary Lake, $5.75 million as well. By the way, these when you look at this, these are all of our students. I thought we've done a good job of portraying some of the students we have there. So the next slide shows what I've just described: 21,000 square foot building for classrooms, offices, and a small teaching auditorium. And it will serve in the various things that you see on the next slide. We only have one really good science lab, and we don't have the space. We've looked at putting it in a mobile unit, another one. We've looked at expanding in our King Allied Health building, and it's not feasible to do that with the funds we have. So this building gives us the opportunity to have several science labs, to improve our computer science labs, to bring in space that we can do EMS training. I know that's something you've worked on as a board. We have a space designated to do that in that building. Again, these are our students, some of our faculty there as well. So we'll use remaining funds for repairs on campus, as I've described, parking lots, sidewalks, and so on. You've helped us with sidewalks. We've got most of that done with your help. And I mean, I don't think this is really trite to say that This will make the campus accessible and offer more programs. We are limited in programs we can do now because of space. The last building that was built was our library, and that was a 2000 bond. So 15 years ago, we put together that building, which is a 16,000 square foot building, and we haven't had a classroom building built since the King building, which was in the 80s. So we're able to expand on that to be able to offer opportunities for the citizens of Bladen County. So, again, the main thing here is we will not increase taxes, and I've been quizzed on that by some of our staff. What do you mean we'll increase taxes? It's a $3 billion project here. But it won't in that bonds are sold over time. The bond for 2000, bonds were sold for 2000. We didn't use the money here in Bladen County until 2010. So the budget director and the governor have said, and I think you look at the next slide, that we will end up having a workforce that we think is highly educated, but bonds being sold over time will not increase taxes. So there's no increase here in Bladen County for that or across the state. And budget director and the governor said that we're in very stable conditions statewide to have the money to pay off the bonds as they go forward with that. And I think you understand as well, legislature certainly is not in the mode to increase state taxes, and they've been lowering them as we go forward. So Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, I give you that, and you've got a brochure here as well that gives you some information regarding this. Our trustees have tentatively approved going forward to build a new building. How that's designed would be up to them as we, if this does pass in March, we go back to them with design plan for their approval. Our faculty and staff have been asked to help us with the design on it. So Mr. Troy, I'll turn it to you. So any remarks you'd like to say regarding this?
Yes, I'd like to thank the commission for giving us the opportunity to come before you today. But commissions, the struggle is real. We need your support in supporting this resolution going forward so we can help students in Bladen County.
Must move the adopt resolution.
Motion, Mr. Peterson, second by Mr. Dr. Blanks. Pleasure of the board. Aye.
Aye.
No.
On the revenue stuff, we're not looking at this and it sounds real good. And it looks real good for the education system, but I heard some of the same simple stuff back when we were getting ready to put the education lottery in. That they're gonna do all this planning and we're gonna do all these things in the school system and everything will go fine. But that commitment has never been held to the taxpayers of North Carolina. Well, I'm asking, when you prepare this, has a commitment been made to all the county, with community colleges, that they submit a proposed plan as to what they're going to do with the money?
Yes, sir.
Has a firm commitment been made?
Yes, sir. And that's on the slide, the sheet that you have. All 58 community colleges get something, every single one of them, for either new buildings or renovations. Now, I'll tell you, Johnston Community Colleges, I think is listed on there. They don't get as much as we do. Let me find it in here. Johnston doesn't get as much as we do because they passed a bond in that county, so they'll use all of theirs for renovation. But every school gets a commitment. You know, the community colleges aren't part of the lottery. We don't get lottery money. So this that you see here, and I didn't give you all 58 community colleges, but we all get that. We are committed to getting $6.53 million, and we'll get that.
So the legislative bill has appropriated that amount of money?
It's in the bill, yes, sir.
That's in the bill.
It's in the bill, these amounts that you see here. Yes, sir. And so I think certainly it's a boon for this county to have this happen, and it's got to pass statewide. So a majority vote statewide will get this money for the schools as well. Thank you for that question. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Back in question. Okay, thank you for your presentation.
Sir, thank you.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have Bladen County School, Dr. Robert Heavenage. I don't see him here.
Motion to table.
Motion to table. Second by Cottrell, motion by Mr. Peterson. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, if I may just correct it, he did contact me last night by email to indicate that he had a death in his family, and that's why he's unable to be here.
Okay, item number 9, Finance Department, Ms. Lisa Coleman, Financial Officer, will come forward. And, the last 6 months, the dashboard, she's gonna go over December 31st.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to go over the dashboard through December. At the annual budget for through December was $46.8 million. At that point, we've collected 26.8 or 57.25% in the general fund. We have spent $22.4 million or 47.91% of that budget. In solid waste, we have a $2.2 million budget. We've collected $1.3 million or 61.21%. And we've spent $1,191,000 or 52.65%. In the emergency telephone, we have a $383,000 budget. We've collected $77,000 or 20.29%, and we've spent $202 or encumbered. We still have some projects that are ongoing with that, so that's 52.88%. In water, we have a $2.1 million budget, and we've collected $1,105,000 or 52%. And we've spent $520,000 or 24.6%. Anybody have any questions regarding the dashboard? Okay. Mr. Chairman, would you like for me to go on forward with item B?
Yes.
Okay. Item B, as you know, in 2011, we sought bids for audit services. Well, it's time to do that again. So we're seeking bids starting February 1st. I have identified 7 different firms that do surrounding counties as well as some of the counties our size in the state. If you see of anything or know of another agency that does those type of firms, I'd be glad to put it on the list because this will go out February the 1st. And we hope to have bids back in by the 29th so we can begin services for Bladen County in June. Any questions on the RFP? All right. Thank you.
Item 10, computer operations, Mr. Robin Hewitt, Director.
Good evening. I wanted to do a quick update on the mandate we had from last meeting regarding audiovisual recordings. Margaret was kind enough to get us our first quote from a security company that will do audio and visual, and we have requested to make sure that we get high resolution cameras. We didn't want to get anything cheap, so this proposal came in at about $7,300. This is audio and visual, but this is, like I said, this is our first proposal. We're looking for another proposal from Evans Computer that we think is probably going to be a lot cheaper because they're not security. This proposal came from a security company, and their requirements are a lot higher than probably what we really need. And I wanted to let you know that we are testing audio in this meeting as we speak. We're using the current microphones and are attempting to record and see what the quality is of the existing audio system. Now that's not going to be included in the audio visual. The audio and visual will be synced together. So this is a completely separate issue with the audio that we're testing tonight. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Thank you.
Now, I'd like to say one thing. I'd like to thank you, Mr. Howard, for putting this together. I asked for that, and I'd like to thank you for the effort that's been put
Yes, sir.
forward this.
Thank you.
I'm hoping that we can work this matter out.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
very much.
Thank you. Item 11, advisory board appointments. We have several. Adult Care Home Community Advisory Committee, need 2. Pleasure of the board.
Motion to reappoint.
Motion to reappoint. Second, Mr. Caldwell. Mr. Williams made a motion. We'll vote now. Aye. Everybody in favor, aye? Opposed, no? Ayes have it. Motion carried. Next item is Airport Appeals Board, three people. We have 300 now. What's the pleasure of the board?
Reappoint Reynolds.
Reappoint all of them? Reappoint all three. Second. Second by Mr. Bullock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes have it, motion passes. Division of Aging Advisory Committee, 1.
Must be reappoint Ms. Linda Brown, and we also need to replace Shantia Keaton with Sonia Powers.
Second.
Sonia Powers is now the director of CAP.
I second.
Got a second, Mr. Cardell. Motion by Mr. Peterson. Second by Mr. Cardell. What's the pleasure of the board? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
No. The opposed say no. Ayes carried. Lisbon Rural Fire Service District Commission 5.
We're trying to ask you, about one of these, John Carter Jr. living in Rico Woods, who inside the district?
He's on the agenda. He's a member now.
I mean, how does he get upon?
Rico Wood, got Rico Wood address, is all I know. Maybe Mr. Martin.
Well, Mr. Kinlaw's indicated that he is.
See what I mean?
He's in Bladen County?
He's a good budget.
It was last time I had.
We need to look at that.
Watson Zabel.
Second.
Motion, Mr. Peterson, second by Mr. Bullock. What's the,
What was the motion?
By table.
Yeah, we need to check on John Carter Jr.
all in favor say aye.
Rico Woods address.
No,
I'm just
no.
questioning whether or not he lives inside.
Opposed say no. Ayes have it. Table. Local Emergency Planning Committee, 1.
Kurt Benson, Wayne Dawn. Second.
Mr. Peterson made the motion, Mr. Hayes made the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Personnel Advisory Board, 1.
Wayne Sumner. Second.
Mr. Peterson made the motion, Mr. Hayes made the, seconded. Vote, everybody in favor say aye.
Aye.
No, say no. All in favor? Ayes carried, no pass. Now, on the other part of 11, Patsy Priest has requested not to be appointed, you're appointed, right?
That's one that is.
But he just, okay, I got Councilman Bladen, okay, all right. County Manager Greg Martin.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before you go to the county manager's report, I'm a little confused about, even though we tabled it, but, some of the requests coming from the, Board of Education. I'm a strong supporter of education, quality education, equity in education, you name it in this county, but throughout the year, the Board of Education requests financial assistance, funding from this board, and I can't connect those constant requests from budgetary requests and planning at budget time and the urgency of those funds that are being requested, and I've got a good explanation understanding how it fits into the planning that goes on. And it's almost time for budget and planning to come back up again. We have the referendum, I think I'm right, stand to be corrected, coming up on the ballot for the sales tax that is not being looked at for educational purposes, but to lower tax rate. It will not be used for education. It seems to create a divide between this board and our understanding. It's my understanding for the need for those financial requests, and it creates an environment that's not good for me to the board. It's not good for me. But I would like a better explanation if they're willing to do it, to get a better understanding of what their goals and objectives are, and where they're headed, and when it's going to take, and how we plan to fund it the best we can.
We table
But
it.
like
We
I
table so
know
we
we
can,
table it,
we'll be with them.
let's say we had our actors with any degree of intelligence on it tonight, I wouldn't have known what to talking about.
They're not asking for money. All that is a capacity study that's required by the state of North Carolina.
So that's what we're tabling here tonight.
Yeah, it's just a capacity.
There's no
Everybody
money
here.
in this.
No, there's no money. It's a capacity study they have to do every 10 years, and that's all that is.
And we have to approve that.
Well, yeah, we approved it, but we're not obligated to anything. That's part of the letter. Greg?
Mr. Chairman, that's a good question, Dr. Lance. And just for clarification, tonight, there was no action requested related to the Board of Education's presentation on their school facilities needs. Basically, there was a statement that the information was shared with the Board of Commissioners. It in no way indicated an endorsement by the board. So that's why there was no action requested related to that. So it just shows and basically it just shows the state of the facilities, of each of the facilities, the condition, and it showed a projection of the school's population over the next 20 or 30 years, which showed relatively flat growth. So it, but I don't say that to confuse you. I understand at the same time. I think I understand what you're asking for, and we'll be in contact with